What we doing, y'all? What we doing? We here live doing this thing. Want to make sure we're on and popping. Everybody's together for this is going to be our final Saturday for 2025. We won't be doing this next Saturday. We'll jump in 2026 and take it from there. But this is going to be the last one for 2025. Take it or leave it. That's what we're doing. And ending this with a real positive note, because as we're wrapping up 2025, getting into the holiday season and everything, we're coming across some worldwide madness, if I can say it like that. Let me drop this for about a minute and a half, and then we get into what we came to talk about. Right now, we're dealing with shootings that are targeting students and professors on college campuses. We're dealing with shootings that are targeting religious groups in holiday gatherings, first day of Hanukkah out in Australia. Not really pushing into the holiday spirit, I'd say. Then we're dealing with some madness in just sports and society. Rob Reiner and his wife potentially murdered by their son. That was tragic in itself. And then to turn and see what's happening with Coach Moore in Michigan, that's what's going on right now as we're trying to wrap up the year. And for someone like me, hey, this is that season of when I lost my mother. I lost my mother on Christmas Eve some years ago, and that ain't easy. So I'm just saying, y'all, we're trying to wrap up this year with a lot of stuff that's going on, and the world is going in different directions. And so let's take this time to look forward to 2026 and how we can do this thing another way without being wrapped up in the negative stuff that's going down in this world. Can we do that? Can we hang on and do that? And let's look at how the simple shape of a circle can inspire and influence our outlook as we go into 2026. You know what I mean? That's what I want to help somebody with today. That's where I want to be, and get out of all this other irky, madness that's going on. Just the simple shape of a circle, right? A circle, number one, symbolizes eternity. A circle symbolizes eternity. Not infinity, but eternity. And when we say eternity, what we're talking about is this timeless existence, right? A circle symbolizes this timeless existence where folks can really see that a circle encompasses this belief that everything has come full circle, eternity, right? And so when we talk about eternity, the way we look at things tends to be narrow And so we miss a lot of stuff because we get narrowed in and become narrow minded because of a narrow scope and perspective. And so let's take on this shape of a circle and look at things that have a greater eternal value. People of faith, we should be looking at things that have a greater eternal value, not the earthly things, right? We can see that the earthly has its own value system, but that system is so far below what's eternal, but has an endless existence, that this endless and timeless existence should outweigh what's earthly. What do I mean by that? Well, look at it. If you're a creative artist, you can get likes and views and all the kudos now, but are you fully accomplishing and achieving the life goals that you've set out within your heart and mind to achieve, or are you just getting recognized for the stuff that you've done? Right? There's a difference. There's a difference when you're getting the true acknowledgement for living and breathing and embodying your gift versus you've just done a few things that people have caught on to and you're riding the trend and it looks like it's working for you. Let me tell you something. Based upon what we're seeing go down right now, you can have it all and still not have it all together. You can have all the toys and trinkets and treasures and everything, and you still not have it, quote unquote, all together. Because listen, when the road gets rough and, our mentality is challenged and pushed and pressured, we can lose it. And we're seeing that with some people today because of just the simple pressure of life. And so let's not simply say us taking advantage of where we are and how we're existing is all that. We're not doing a super great job when we have it all in our hands, but it's not all together in our heads. God help us. So we need to get our hearts and minds straight about what's our value system in this form of eternity. Where's our value system? Are we hanging with the low crowd, or are we seeking higher things? Where are we at? That's what we need to do. And secondly, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing a circle represents completeness. Can you hang with me on that? A circle represents completeness. And when I say completeness is the type of thing when you are actually trying to keep your whole self together, right? Completeness means that you are an entire unit. You are done. You are set. You are prepared. Your wholeness, your completeness, it's all together and everything is knit together and is formed and fit together, held together by something that is, quote unquote, concrete that keeps it together, right? So we often think about the body and the different systems of the body. The bones are connected with joints, right? The muscles are connected with tendons. And so those connections help add to our completeness. When they become disconnected, we're not complete, we're not whole. And I say that because, listen, I'm 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 just gonna go down that street. Listen, when somebody's been part of the community, when somebody's been part of the larger body of people, even a body of believers in the faith community, when somebody's been part of that, and now all of a sudden they're no longer attached to that, we usually call that dismemberment. They're no longer a member of that group. They're no longer part of that party. They're no longer in that crowd. They're no longer part of it. And so our connection to our completeness is maintaining those many connections of our system. Can we say it like that? What would be the joints and tendons of our system? What are the things that keep us all complete that need to be attached to one another? There's four things that I look at continually and evaluate that I've done since entering into this world of closeness to cancer with my mother's diagnosis and dealing with her periods of ups and downs throughout her cancer journey that helped me look at what was going on in my day. Four things of focus. I looked at my faith, I looked at my family, I looked at my fitness, and I looked at my finances. Where was I at any particular time with that? And if I was missing one, or if I hadn't touched one, or if I hadn't engaged in one, I hadn't been complete. I hadn't done what I was supposed to do for that period. Hope you get it. Hope you understand it. I'm trying to get someone to recognize that in the midst of everything that we're doing and trying to do, we can find ourselves going, but not to be our entire selves. We're not entirely there. We're in position. We're there in person, but we're not fully present. Something else is pulling at us. And so in 2026, be there, be complete, be whole, get everything together and be fully present. Be there, be aware, be conscious, be connected, communicate that vocally and visually. There's a whole lot we can communicate visually with nonverbal communication, but let others know I'm here for this. I'm here to engage. Call on me, talk to me. That's what I'm here for. And that will help you. Come on. That will help you with your outlook as you continue in 2026. Imagine that hey, I've got my stuff together, so I'm showing up in order to offer something and not just take. What if someone showed up to AA like that in 2026? What if someone showed up to Narcotics Anonymous like that in 2026? I'm not showing up to get a boost. I'm showing up to lift somebody else up. I'm not showing up to get encouraged. I'm showing up to encourage somebody else. What if somebody showed up like that? What if someone showed up at the circle for the battered wives in the women's shelter and said, I just showed up today to make sure someone knew that another person who understood and empathized what they were going through could have someone say, hey, I'm here for you. Imagine that. Imagine that. And so we see the shape of a circle as eternity. We see the shape of a circle as wholeness. And then we see the shape of a circle as perfection. Perfection. Because a circle has no beginning and no end. The circle is the ring that symbolizes the bond between the husband and wife. And so the circle symbolizes perfection, that we come together and we have this unison that cannot be broken. We have this perfection that has no starting point, that has no ending point. It's just in existence. And it's strengthened by nothing breaking that circle. Old school folks used to say, let the circle be unbroken. What we've got to understand is that most of this is figurative, but it's not fantasy. Most of this is figurative language because we're saying it and we have to embody it. We're the circle. We're the community that encircles and embraces one another. And our circle, we can let people in, or we can close people out. Our circle, we can have people join it or have people walk away. What you've got to look at in 2026 is, who's in my circle? And not so much who's worthy of being in my circle. Who's in my circle? Who did I let in? Who did I let stay in? Who did I invite in? Who's just been hanging around because we've never had that conversation of, are you with me or not? They've just been hanging around. They're on the edge of my circle. Sometimes they're on the inside, sometimes they're on the outside. Sometimes they're 1 foot in, sometimes they're 1 foot out. Who is it? And why are they connected to me? Because listen, 2026 is not the year for dead weight. If you're going to make some moves in 2026, you need to get there and get on it and get moving as lean as possible. Who is in my circle? And if you're carrying dead weight, you need to decide, one, do I develop a deeper relationship with this person? Or do I drop the dead weight? Come on. 2026 is not the year for carrying dead weight. And you've got to decide, do I develop a deeper relationship with this person, or do I drop the dead weight? Because if you keep hanging around with the person who's uncertain, if they really want to be connected to you, there's going to be plenty of drag time with that dead weight that keeps you from advancing into more positive territory. Ask Abraham about bringing his relative Lot along with him as they went to a land that God would show them. Got complicated. got troubling, and the question of who's in my circle became an issue. Go ahead and look at that. Ask Joseph about sharing a dream with some family members, and what happens when you share the dream and everybody's offended by what you've shared as your dream and vision that you got from God. It happens. Listen, in 2026, if you're planning a project, if you're planning something new, you might be like Nehemiah going back to rebuild the walls, and there's a Sanballat and a Tobiah there threatening you and teasing you and tormenting you and taunting you, and you still need to remain positive to see that through. 2026, like I said, is not the year for dead weight. You can't have a whole bunch of time dragging dead weight along with you, but 2026 is a year of determination. You got to be determined going into 2026. 2026 is a year of destination. You've got to be destined in 2026. Where are you headed? Know where you're headed and get moving and make moves to get there. And 2026 is a year of distinguishment. This is where you set yourself apart from those who aren't trying to do anything even close to what you're doing. This is when you spread your wings and take flight. But if you're not going to do it, if you're going to continue hanging out with dead weight, it's going to be a drag before you even get started. Come on, y'all. Get up. Get out there and get going after it. Be inspired to have more out of your life than what you're getting today. God bless.